Hello. In this short video, I'd like to show you what you can do with things from the Nearpod library. Finding things in the library, adapting materials from the Nearpod library, and adding your own content to an existing slideshow. So I'm going to get rid of the webcam because you don't need to see me anymore, and let's get started. I'm going to click on the Nearpod library. And you can see there's lots of different ways to filter a search within the Nearpod library, but I am just going to take a look for Earth Day materials because that is coming up soon. So maybe you'd like to try something with that. And you can see if I scroll down, a whole lot of stuff comes up related to Earth, related to the word day. But right up at the top, I have some Earth Day slide decks. I want you to notice that videos come up in searches as well. The play button tells you that this is just a video in isolation. And there'll be a few other things on there. The videos could be inserted into other slide decks. So I may do that as well. Always preview everything before you decide to use it with your students. Just because the content is labeled K2 does not mean that I would put it in front of kindergartners. So I'm going to click on K2 because the Nearpods for younger kids are always the ones that seem to need to be a little more adapted. But even when I've used Nearpods with fifth graders, I have pulled out content, added content to make it even more engaging than the existing pieces, especially if the Nearpod is incredibly text heavy. I also have to consider the way that I'm going to use the Nearpod. Am I going to use it whole group, perhaps with kindergarten and first grade, with just some interactivity on their own? Or do I plan on having the students completing the Nearpod entirely on their own as a student-paced lesson? So I've decided I want to use this. Of course, I would preview first and find out if there's anything I'd like to use. And the first thing I notice is that this is a 31 slide deck. I would never put that in front of kindergartners or first graders or second graders or probably third through fifth graders either. That's a lot of content. Breaking it up over a few days might make sense. But either way, I have already previewed this, so I have a good idea before I did this video of what I think I would use or not use. So I'm just going to kind of model how I can do some modifications. Of course, I would certainly spend a lot more time than you'll see me doing in this video, modifying and making sure that it fits the needs of my students. But I will just show you the basics. So I'm going to click Add to My Lessons. I cannot edit anything unless it is in My Lessons. So now I've taken that and copied it over to My Lessons, and the green button that now says Show in My Lessons will take me to that copied Nearpod that I just did. And now I'm able to work with it and edit it any way that I choose. I like the preview mode that you can take through and kind of get an idea in your head which slides you would like to keep and which slides you would like to delete. I do find myself deleting an awful lot of slides, especially if I'm working with K1, and maybe even replacing them with things that are a little more interactive. So from here, I'm going to click on the editing pencil. And let's see, it is warning me that I could keep a copy of the original if I want to, but that original lesson will always be in the Nearpod library. So I really don't feel that I need two versions of this in my library. That just confuses me. So I'm just going to click on Edit Lesson. I am not changing Nearpod's lesson at all. This lesson is now mine. It's in my library. So give it a little bit of time to get into that editing mode, and you can see what the interface looks like within editing. You can change the title. So if I wanted to edit this just for kindergarten, I would name it that so that I know this is my kindergarten slide deck. So now I can get a really good overview of all 31 slides, and yikes, that is quite a lot. Some of the slides, as you can see, many of those tan ones are simply heading slides that guide you through the lesson. So they are slides that don't really add a whole lot to the content. They're slides that just are kind of markers in between sections. So most of these decks start out with an essential question and then some learning objectives. I keep those there and read those to the kids usually. Do we really need the Let's Get Started slide? Probably not. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete it. It's just an extra slide. It really doesn't enhance the understanding. And the poll, have you heard of Earth Day before? I don't need kindergarten, first or second graders to take that poll. Maybe second graders I would, but I'm going to take that poll right out of there. It doesn't add for a whole lot of interactivity. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that poll. And I can keep the Let's Dive In or Not. And I have a little bit of text. I've got two slideshows a lot of reading and a lot of class discussion. So if I'm working on this with kindergartners, I'm probably going to take out a lot of this stuff. I'm going to take out the Earth Day 1970, and now that's going to be way over their heads. You notice I'm going through and I am deleting a whole lot of slides. There's some reading slides. I have to decide if I would like to do those with this level or not. More than likely, I'm going to go in and add a video. I'm going to take a look at this slideshow, and I can click on any slide. So now I've selected slide 5. I want to see this slideshow and see if I'm actually going to use it. So I'm going to click on preview, and that gives me a preview of just that slide and how it's set up. And now I can look and see this is an image, and I think I like this. This would be a good image to generate discussion. So I can click the X and I can exit that student preview now that I see it. I have to go in that preview, otherwise I couldn't see. I can edit that slide by double clicking on it. So now I've double clicked on the slide, and now it's opening up in edit mode. So if I decide I don't really need this class discussion slide, I'm going to ask the question myself. The kindergartners can't read it, so I can just click and I can delete that individual slide within the slideshow. I could add my own slide there as well. Maybe I could add another image as well. I could add multiple images showing different ways that people could help for Earth Day. So I have that Google image search right within there, so I can add on to their slideshow if I'd like to. That's a really good feature as well that allows you to customize. So I've got my probing question. And now this is a point with my littles. Instead of necessarily reading about Earth Day, I might insert a video. So I have some slideshows coming up that would be largely reading text. And again, we can click and preview and take a look. It doesn't really tell me on the slide how many slides are there, but there could be a lot. Let's just take a peek in that preview mode. Oh, it's only 2. So you have a think, pair, share. So I mean, that might be worth keeping. It's up to you. So you can kind of decide what's worth keeping, what's not worth keeping. I might actually take that slide and click and drag and move it up. So maybe I start out with these 3 slides as kind of a getting students' attention. And then instead of having this text slide is a spot where maybe I insert a video. So let's delete that slide and let's take a look at how you can add your own content. So after let's dive in, I'm going to insert a video. So going up, I have an add slide. And notice that it gives me, I can add a content slide or I can add an activity slide. Now I saw a couple good videos right within Nearpod. I'd want to preview those, of course, first, but I could add that video. And it's going to let me do a search. When I click video, it's going to let me search Nearpod for a video that I could add, or I have a couple of YouTube videos up here. And now it's saying I can create my own interactive video, or I can upload and I can embed questions. So let's just search their video library for Earth Day. And let's click right there. And now I can see 5 things kids can do to help Mother Earth. That's an 8-minute video, so I'd have to think of my age level. I also have why do we celebrate Earth Day? This is a 1-minute video, so that would probably be better than that one slide. So I'm going to click, and now that I've clicked it, I have not saved it to my Nearpod yet, but I can see they have 2 embedded questions. I could add my own embedded questions as well, or I could completely turn off that feature and just keep it as a video. Let's save it. And when I save that video, it's going to put that video, unfortunately, it's not going to stick it where I wanted it to stick it. It's going to stick it way at the end. So I'm going to need to take it and just drag and drop until I get it exactly where I wanted it. And it's not replacing anything. It's just shoving things out of the way. So let's go on up. There's a video, Save Our World. I probably don't want 2 videos to go in a row. So let's go right here. So we got a little video about Earth Day. And I could check out these slideshows and see if those are applicable. More than likely, if I'm doing this for kindergarten, 1st grade, I might want to delete those slides and add a video. Let's go back to add slide. I can add my own YouTube video. Let's take a look at how that might look. And up here, it's the same thing we just looked at. I could upload my own video as well, and maybe I have my own saved videos, but here's my YouTube, and it says I can do a search here or I can paste. So I found a couple videos right here. This is a shorter one, only a 2 40-minute video. This is a little bit longer one, kind of introducing Earth Day. Let's just do a quick copy and paste right there, and enter. And now it's located that video. And now when I click save, it's preparing my video, and I could click and preview, and I could add an activity, an open-ended question or a multiple choice question there, or I would not need to. I could add activities, questions throughout. I'd have to consider if I'm doing this together with my class or if I'm having them do it on their own, but let's click save. Keep in mind, you could start a student pace lesson and run it whole group with your students and then dismiss them so that they're doing some activities on their own. Okay, so I've just added another video. Notice it came at the end again. That's always going to happen. And we can just slide it on up. I'm noticing I have some quizzes in there. If this is for kindergarten, first grade, and they can't read it, you might want to take it out, but take a look at this button. This is new. I did not know you could do this. This is really exciting. They love the time to climb. So let's just take this quiz and let's convert it to time to climb. Do I want to keep a copy of the original slide? Nope, I don't want to keep that quiz. That is pretty cool. That is a brand new feature to convert a quiz to time to climb. I like that. In the past, I've copied and pasted text into time to climb. Now notice, now that I've added, it's converted that quiz to time to climb, I can edit that quiz. I can add questions to it. I could make it an entirely image-based quiz. The only thing it can't do is read the questions to students. So I could add images and do a Google search. I'm going to lose my answers if I add images, so I might just add a question. So if I add a question and say, which picture shows caring for the earth? There we go. And I could add and now my answer type is going to be images for both. So I could click and search for a picture of a garbage dump, which would not show caring for the earth. And I can pick whatever I would like. And I don't think it's saved. Let's try it again. Click. Got to scroll down. I need to click that blue save button, otherwise it's not going to be in there. Now the kids will have a picture to click on rather than text to click on. So you could read the questions to your students and they could have image answers. You have to click the button to select what the correct answer is. And I think I'll just save right there. Oop, it's telling me I need to include another image. So let's just put, I don't know what I'm going to get for a search for clean water, but let's just do this. Hopefully it's not the best image, but at least I've got an image there, and then it will let me save. So let's click save, and now it's converted that quiz to a time to climb, which could go anywhere. It could be a preview at the beginning. It could be added at the end. Okay, so I am down to, well, I'm still at 29 slides, so that's a lot of slides here. I noticed that there's 3 different drawets. I'd probably remove some of those drawets, considering that less is more. There does not need to be a ton of interactive pieces within your Nearpod to make it fun for the kids. Okay, so the last thing I would like to show you is how you can add some web content to personalize a slide deck that you found in the Nearpod library. I would like students to have access to this choice board, which is done in Google Drawings. So let's go to the Nearpod presentation and let's add content and activities. And we are going to add this as web content because a Google drawing, a Google Doc, a Google slide, that's all it is a web page. So let's click here and it's going to ask for the website URL. So we're going to go here, click the share button. It's already added, so anybody with the link in Oshkosh can open it. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that link, and let's head back to the Nearpod and paste it. I can test this link to make sure it's working. I suspect that it will, so I'm going to go ahead and save. And then, of course, it placed it right at the end. I can move that later, but let's click and preview and take a look at how that choice board is going to look when it's embedded within the Nearpod. The beauty is the students never need to leave the Nearpod and they can access this choice board. This is what it would look like within the Nearpod. And every link here is an active link, so they can access all parts of that choice board right when they get into that Nearpod. So that gives you a quick overview of how you can access and locate some content within the Nearpod library and edit it within your account and personalize a Nearpod for your class. Hopefully this will help you generate some good learning within your classroom. Have a great day.